Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another RLCS video. Today, we're going to be going over NA qualifier number 3. I know last week I didn't get a recap out of qualifier 2, just kind of got a little busy with school. It happens. I'm a student, sometimes I'm just going to have to skip a week. And also, I've been working very hard on a new rating system statistically for teams. So that's been very cool. I got really far. I'm very proud of it, but we're not going to have that for a few more weeks. What we have right now is the final qualifier in North America. And it is coming down to the wire, guys, because only one team so far has qualified in G2 Stride. They've clinched it. Meanwhile, you have all the other teams. Let's go ahead and put up on the screen right now the qualification requirements for each team to make the major. Shout out to Direct for, of course, making this amazing statistician, obviously working with RLCS. Gen G clinches with ninth or better. So they don't even have to make top 8. They just have to win 2 series. Luminosity have to get 3rd or 4th to make it automatically. And there are like other ways. Like for Luminosity, if like 3 of, or I guess like if most of the next people like Dignitas, M80, OG, Pirates don't make, say, top 8, then they can make top 8 and make it just fine. But Dignitas all the way through Shopify Rebellion clinch with a regional win, and then TSM clinches a tiebreaker with a regional win. Delayed XD is out because they didn't make it, and then Omelet, Snowman, Young Rubber Snappers, and Muffin Men are eliminated if they get 3rd or 4th or worse. So that means that they're not even guaranteed to make the major if they even win it. They have to hope that a lot of other teams do poorly, and then a Boulevard eliminated with 2nd or worse. So they have to win it to even have a chance at qualifying. Lots of fun stuff here, though. Very exciting. Looking forward to seeing how things actually go this weekend. I'll try and get a recap out Friday night with the updated how teams need to do that stuff, as well as just who's actually looking good, who's probably going to do it. Last, or I guess 2 weeks ago now, I had predicted the final bracket, and I got 6 out of the 7 matches right. So that was epic. I predicted Luminosity making the grand final. I also had predicted 7 of the 8 round 1 matches and 7 of the 8 teams that made it through to the playoffs. So I'm on like a really good winning streak where I only get like one thing off every single time. So hopefully we can continue that here. Starting off in round 1, let's get some predictions underway. G2 versus Muffin Men, Squishy's last hurrah before retiring and just becoming a content creator. 3-0. Just G2 looks so amazing. Muffin Men just don't stand a chance. Gen G against Snowmen. Snowmen, honestly, they hadn't done too well in the first one, but they did make it all the way to the 5th series. They had a 7.5 rating, so completely dead average. Their big thing was that they were just getting a lot of saves. Of course, they're playing Gen G, who's going to get a lot of shots. I'm probably going to say Gen G 3-0, honestly. I could see Snowman maybe taking a game. And then we reach, oh my gosh, such a crazy matchup round 1 because of the fact that Dignitas didn't do well last regional. Luminosity versus Dignitas. Luminosity are the top performing team statistically, at least as of right now. My new rating system will say otherwise, but the current rating system says that they're doing amazing. Goals per game, 2.6 goals per game, over 2 assists per game, 77% assists per goal, and of course their specialty, 5.75 demos per game. While Dignitas, they just get a lot of shots, and a lot of them don't go in. This is going to be a really tough one. If Dignitas are on for the day, I think Dignitas takes it. If Dignitas are anything but perfect, I think Luminosity take it. I'm going against the grain here. I'm going to actually say that Dignitas are going to take it in game 5. I think it's going to be super close, but I think Dignitas know how much this regional means, and I think that they're going to give it their all. Then we have Omelet against Young Whippersnappers. And YWS, despite making it to round 5 in that first regional, had a really poor performance statistically, getting a rating of 5.5. They were the worst performing team out of any in the split so far. So of course I'm going to think Omelette are going to take it. They also did really well last regional, where they managed to beat Dignitas, then lose to G2, beat Deleted XD, lose to Genji, and lose to Luminosity. So they lost to debatably the top 3 teams in North America right now. Dignitas also pretty high up there. So Omelette did really well. They just had such a horrible schedule. I'm going to say Omelette in 4. Hopefully Omelette can do it. Omelette also is very variable on any given day, so it's super hard to really tell how that's going to go. Then we have OG Esports against M80. This is going to be definitely a close one. OG slightly favored statistically, but we have to remember M80 are yet to drop a single series in Swiss. So I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to say game 5. OG will keep it very close, of course. I just realized I forgot to turn on my desk light so that way you guys could actually see better. Sorry about that. We have TSM against Boulevard. Only issue with this one is that Boulevard is the only new team in regional number 3, so I have nothing for them. So this one's kind of just a guess as any. TSM hasn't been performing too well, a rating of 6.9. Nice. But most of their stuff comes from saves per game. They have a pretty low shooting percentage, only 20%. They're not doing too well demo-wise. 80% assists per goal, which is a little bit low, but not too low. And a 39% win percentage. So I am going to give it to TSM because I think they're the favorite team here. I think Boulevard will honestly take them to game 5. It will be pretty close because TSM have not been doing nearly as well as they did in the offseason. And then we have Pirates on a Boat versus NRG. And this is actually a really tough one because it's just looking at these statistics. Both of them have a 51% win percentage. Both of them have a 2.3 goals per game. NRG has a higher assist per game, as well as a 5% higher assist per goal. Both sitting around like 4.7, 4.8 saves per game. Pirates is shooting a lot higher, but they only have a 26.6 shooting percentage, while NRG has a 30.6. And then NRG is getting roughly 1 demo above Pirates. So Pirates putting on a lot more pressure, but it's kind of evening out in the end. It's going to be really, really close, but I am going to give it to Pirates. A big thing is that playing these upper teams, it's always just, it comes down to Drees. Mist is doing incredible. Garrett's doing his thing, but Drees still seems to have this issue of when it comes to moments of pressure, he makes the wrong choice, and that costs NRG almost every single time. And then we have the wildest match of Space Station versus Rebellion. Space Station, also seen as a potential 3rd place team if it wasn't for them running into G2 in the quarterfinals and the first 2 regionals. They would have definitely done it against Rebellion, a team that people were also thinking as a potential top 4, and then failed to make regional 2 at all. I'm so flabbergasted about the fact that it happened. I couldn't talk. And looking at the stats, Space Station slightly better, but of course, Space Station had 2 regionals for their stats, while Rebellion only had 1. Both of them sitting at exactly 50% win percentage, which is actually wild. I think a big thing this will come down to, though, is that Space Station has higher shooting percentage. They have about the same amount of shots per game, but Space Station has 85% assists per goal, while Shopify has 79%. And I think that definitely the connection there is going to take Space Station to their victory. Then G2 versus Dignitas. I mean, no one's getting in the way of G2. Oh my goodness, M80 versus Genji in round number 2. Finally, something would change where they don't meet up in the final round. M80 seems to just always have Genji's number. I'm going to say 3-2. Honestly, though, M80 could sweep them. It just randomly happens. I'm not even going over stats. I'm just thinking, you know what? M80 keeps beating Gen G in the Swiss, so they're gonna do it again because why not? Then we have Omelette versus Space Station. This is actually really interesting, the one that I want to look at because Omelette, despite not doing the best, they have a really solid statistical ranking, while Space Station, who are really, really good, don't have as good of a statistic as maybe they should. Of course, that's because they play G2 and Gen G every single time that they play in this. Looking at it though, most of Omelet's stuff comes down to getting a lot of saves per game. Um, Meanwhile, they're shooting a lot less, only 6.8 shots per game, with a 25% shooting, which means that they're not getting nearly enough goals. But they are getting a decent amount of assists. It's definitely going to be Space Station. I'm going to say a 3-1. I could see it being a sweep, but I doubt Omelette takes it to game 5. And then TSM versus Pirates, where both times Pirates has taken it a 3-1 in qualifier 1 and a 3-2 or and a 3-0 in qualifier number 2. So it's probably going to be another 3-1 in my books. Then we have Luminosity, who drop early because they played Dignitas to Snowman. Luminosity, I think that they're going to start sweeping. They're going to do really, really well. OG versus Muffin Men. That's a rough one. Honestly, I was thinking that OG might have to do the round 5 magic again. I think that they're going to take this though over Muffin Men. They're really solid, and I think as long as Calm does a good enough job shutting down Aqua's been the really standout player of the Muffin Men. I think that it should be fine. I'm looking for their stats. Oh my gosh, Muffin Men are red in every single stat. Okay, OG better take this. I will give Muffin Men 1 game though. OG, honestly, I could see Muffin Men taking 2 games. OG just really likes playing it to the wire. Then we have NRG versus Young Whippersnapper. It should be NRG. I think Trees will definitely do better, but I'm going to say YWS gets 2 games, and then Rebellion against Boulevard. I'm saying Rebellion just sweep. I think that they're not going to have it with this team. And then G2 against M80. So M80 cannot sweep this time. So things are changing. Of course, this is just my personal thing, and I've talked about it every time. Swiss is super temperamental with the game differential and everything. G2, I think, will take it in game 5. And then I think Space Station will take it in a game 5. Space Station will finally get that 2nd seed, which will be great for them. I think Space Station definitely have it over Pirates, though. But it will be really close. I mean, these teams statistically neck and neck. But I also think that Space Station, just their per game stats, are severely dampened. I'm ranting. Genji against NRG. Um, it'll be a Genji sweep. NRG just don't have it. Genji should look really good. Then OG against Omelette. OG tend to struggle in these kinds of moments, but so do Omelette. So it's really close. Definitely a game 5. I'm going to give this to OG, but I'm hesitant with it. Then TSM versus Luminosity. I think Luminosity will definitely take it. Maybe a 3-1, maybe a 3-0. I'm not too sure. And then Dignitas versus Rebellion. That's actually a really big match. And a really tough one to figure out. And looking at things, the last time that they played was in regional number 1, where Shopify swept. So it's going to be really close. Since they have had their rosters, though, Dignitas has won 2, both in sweeps and Band Snowmobile's Fall Showcase, or Showdown number 5, and then Shopify swept the other way around. I'm going to give it to Rebellion, honestly. I think that they might just have a little kick in them, but I'm not too sure. And then Young Whippersnappers against Snowmen. I'm going to give it to YWS. They actually really showed themselves in regional number 1. Granted, Snowmen did 2, but I think YWS really proved that they belong at an RLCS level. And then Boulevard against Muffinman. I have to give it to Squishy. I mean, it's his last event. Like, I can't not give it to Squishy. Pirates against OG. Another game 5. OG are going to lose it. M8 against Rebellion. I think M80 will win 3-1 maybe. But that's because of the fact that M80 just does well in Swiss. It just sucks that they ran into G2, essentially. I would have just had them winning no matter what otherwise. And then Gen G versus Luminosity. That's actually that's a rough one because Luminosity do really well against these very standard teams. I'm pulling up the head-to-head currently, where they have not played since last fall in 2022. So we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing as a head-to-head. But what I was saying is that Luminosity do really well against the standard teams like G2, like M80, like I would say OG as well. Like Luminosity's level of demos just disrupt these teams so much that I actually want to give it to Luminosity against Gen G. I think Luminosity could win that, especially because Gen G they look solid, but whenever you put them against like a G2, they don't look good at all. And Luminosity look good against a G2. Of course, that is a clash of playstyle, I think, instead of actual skill, which Gen G, I think, has more skill. Luminosity has a playstyle advantage. Then we have Alma against Muffin Man. Sorry, Muffin Man, you're finally out. Ding Toss, I'm going to say sweep. And then NRG versus TSM. I want to give it to TSM 3-2, but I could definitely see NRG doing that, taking that one. Gen G against TSM. Sadly, TSM don't make playoffs. That's sad. OG against Dignitas. That's actually a massive one if it does happen, because those are two of the teams really fighting for everything. So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it to Dignitas, and then Rebellion gets Omelet. Rebellion should take that like 3-1. It's going to be really tough, really intense. We'll have to see if that is how things end up, but it's going to be crazy no matter what, guys. I am saying that these are my 8 teams that make it. Things are getting really tough now because of the fact that Pirates is doing so well. Now we have, I would say, 10 teams that deserve to be in top 8 at this point. All of the 8 that I put, as well as OG and NRG. Despite saying that TSM wins that. But yeah, I would have had NRG losing to all 3 of those teams anyways. But it's really tight. The race is super close. I'm really excited for it all. And I'll try to have some more statistics for you guys on Saturday morning, Friday. Actually, I'll probably try to get it out like Friday night, if I can. I have a Rocket League match for collegiate Friday night, so we'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to go like and subscribe. Comment down below what you thought. Do you think that my top 8 is right? Who knows? Let's see. We'll see. Good. Whatever. Goodbye.